So, hello, day 7, I believe, of our stretches for 12 days of Christmas. And today's stretching is all about, I think we discussed having it on the pecs and upper back. So, if you're thinking of your pec muscles, so you're thinking of your muscles that attach Pec Minor, so the small muscle underneath the chest, attaches at the point of the shoulder, so your shoulder blade and the front attachment called the coracoid process of that shoulder, and it's a short muscle, it's about here, comes down both sides, and it's called Pec Minor. As that muscle gets tight, it pulls your shoulder forward. So we're looking from the side view here, if it's nice and long, it allows us to be here. As it gets tight, it pulls the shoulder forward. So we tend to find people who are tight through their chest and their pecs are going to have very short pec minors, but also it's just a compounding problem if you're computer based. Okay. The other thing that happens is as your pec minor is tight, it limits the amount of shoulder movement. So if I sit square on here and I've got my shoulder in the right position, my arm will move. If my shoulder is being pulled forward from the shoulder blade, it limits the amount of movement my arm, so my humerus and the joint of the shoulder can actually move, and that leaves me open to problems like tendinitis, rotator cuff problems, bursitis, because the arm impacts the shoulder blade joint. So the joint space, the head of humerus, they squash in and they get irritated, where when I'm nice and open, they move well. Okay. Your pec muscle, so your big pec major muscle, attaches along your collarbone, along the edge of your ribs, and obviously round, and then it attaches and inserts on just in your bicipital groove of your humerus. And obviously that's one that we're using to pull in when we're using pecs, and it also pulls out. Let me just, bear with me 2 ticks. And I will just put a call on hold there. All right, so that's our point of reference there. The muscles of the chest with that pec, they're in this position here, and they open the chest that way. Okay, so they pull and they open the chest through, and we have our pecs that attach across the top here. Now what will happen here is we need to rotate and stretch with those muscles, and those muscles can stretch with the arm in that position. Traditionally, people will do pec stretches through here as well. Okay, the thing you need to be aware of if you're doing stretches this way is that you haven't got the shoulder in the ear, the shoulder is soft. That you haven't got the shoulder here, the shoulder is soft. So we need to keep it where we keep the shoulder down and open away. So we're stretching through the muscles and we're stretching through the muscles this way. Sometimes you might want to take the ear away from that shoulder. So if you're here and you're on the doorpost, you just gently walk through that doorpost, and you then might want to turn away. You hold the arm down, you walk through that doorpost, and you gently turn away or move the arm away. Then what you're getting is a stretch through both sections of the muscle and the big pec. Okay. The other things that we need to be aware of is obviously the pecs are attached to your rib cage. So when you're in your rib cage and the pecs are moving, you want to make sure that as you're here, you're not getting tight through the upper body. Same with the shoulder. If the shoulder is being pulled forward, you're not getting tight through the upper body and you're not getting a chin poke forward. All right. So what I'm going to do now is just work through some nice easy stretches for you for the upper back and go through there. So with your upper back, one of the basic ones that we do, which will also do pecs, is called, oopsie, I think I need to just drop that down so you can see the bed. One of the ones that we would do would be book openings. So with your book openings, You want a ball between your knees or a small ball between your knees if you're going to lose contact. I'm just going to put it behind mine for now. You want your arms out in front. We're going to take a breath in and we're going to open as if we're doing the top opening of a book and follow it backwards. We take a breath in, we breathe out and we curl forwards. Okay? In that position there, as we're opening the chest, we're getting the tightness of the pecs lengthening out and through. Take a breath in, breathe out, and we're coming all the way back. Okay? So what I want you to think about when you're doing this is you draw as big a rainbow as you can with your fingertips to open out backwards, and you should feel it pulling across the chest here. And you do as big a rainbow as you can, coming all the way back. If you're finding that's quite tight or you have a sore shoulder, you can also do it in that short lever position where we open. The big thing that you don't want to do is let that leg go. Because if you let the leg go, what tends to happen is you lose the stretch. Hence why it's easy if you have something between the knees to keep you stable. And hence if you want to do it this way, you don't want to lose the stretch by letting the knees control. So if I just turn myself around and you can see it being back way on. And take a breath into the pair and we open through the chest. Take a breath in and we close to bring it back. Okay? You don't want to let the leg go because if I'm here and I let the leg go, I'm only tilting my pelvis and I'm losing the stretch through the arms. Okay? So they are two nice easy stretches that you can do for pecs. You can also think about turning the arms out. You can also think about just being on the chair and moving the other way. Or some people do it where they stretch and they get some rotation through your chest. You might also want to get some trunk stretches by stretching side to side. So if I'm side on here, I stretch nice and over and I stretch up and over. Technically, that's not going to be your pecs. It's going to stretch all your lats and your sides and your things at the back of your spine, like your quadratus lumborum muscle. So typically when we're doing things like our mermaid stretches, we're reaching up and over. We take a breath in and we reach down and through. We take an inhale and we come up. And we come back through center. So I'll just give you a slightly better angle for that. So we take a breath in, we come up and over. We take a breath out, we're threading through the gap between our arm and our waist. We inhale and we come up, and we come back down and through. Same again, we inhale up and over. We exhale round and through. We inhale, we come up, and we exhale, return. Thinking about your rotation through your chest, just some nice easy rotations. Some people like a little bit of a stretch, which makes it a little bit more dynamic. Some people just reach and they might do some stretches to the ceiling. Some people like to do some curls and some extensions over through the back of the chair. So they're all nice, easy things that you could easily do quickly if you were sat in an office chair. The book openings, obviously you need to sit down on the floor, but definitely if you were up and just going to a door, you can do some stretches through the door frame and some stretches through the door frame for your pecs. So nice, quick and easy one for pecs, and a little bit of pecs into upper spine today to show you how you can manage that. And then we'll come back tomorrow with a bit of a flow for maybe a 15-minute stretch class, which is last week we did basically belly button and below for legs. Tomorrow we'll do pelvis and belly button and above. So we have sort of a 15-minute upper back stretch for you there. So hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for the last one for this week, which will be day 8, I believe. And then we're here Monday to Thursday next week for days 9 till 12. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again tomorrow.